Good morning. This is your morning ride with Coach Mel. Let me roll down my window so I can see where the ditch is. It's a little dark since time changed. It's a little dark again. My daffodils are dying. But there's a lot of them that are still alive, maybe because it needed some water. And this weather may be giving it some water. I mean, it is giving it some water. I know there's no maybe about it. But maybe it'll perk up some. And that goes into, so I know that the description on Facebook says working girl, but it just stream Facebook. There goes the Wi-Fi. Okay. Hi. I also forget to cut the Wi-Fi off before I start this, so it cuts off midways after I pull out my driveway. And I'm Melissa, Coach Mel, Grow Better Coaching. Grow Better Coaching is life empowerment coaching. As a recovering addict and somebody that has mental health diagnoses, I focus on the recovery community with goals. Um, as each and everybody know, I'm sure everyone deals with something about recovery in their life, and it's mostly about struggling to set goals and do better and make a change in your life. And a lot of that time, yesterday I talked about change being scary, and it is, and we don't run from it. As we have our goals set, if you set goals, then as you reach some of your goals, you realize you can do it. You're being strengthened. And sometimes when we're trying to reach these goals, we come up on these storms, these battles that we have to face. Like with the storm that's coming in today to the east, hopefully it'll break up. I mean, I know that like Louisiana and Alabama and stuff had some terrible, terrible weather. And it should be on the inside part of Georgia. I think our area is probably going to get it in a couple of hours. But based on what I'm seeing now, it might not be that bad. I haven't looked up the weather. But in life, we have storms. Like the flat tire is not a storm. But when after I got clean, it's not the huge, gigantic, terrible things that get to us. It's those flat tire days. The days when something really little just, why? But some of the storms we face can really start to bring us down. Okay, while I'm going over this bridge and it may click up and sound funny, think about what kind of storms you have faced or you are currently facing. Okay. There could be some, it could be okay. So, hey, Rich, if you can hear me, send me a text message, okay? Because I know you're watching. Because y'all, Richard is my straight up biggest fan. Straight up. Um, so I guess he can hear me. It says I'm back online, and it says he's watching, so it's streaming. There we go. Sorry about the little pause. But think about some storms you are currently facing or have faced before. Remember the pressure you felt. Remember when it felt like everything around you were living in a tornado. Think about that. Living in a tornado, your life is in shambles. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know your next move. You don't know what's going on. Think about all those things. Times that you've had those feelings. Hey, I'm okay. Yeah, I see you, Rich. It came up on my feed, so I see Yeah, I'm good, baby. Thank you. Leave your light or try to mess up your life. Think about abuse. Think about things you've gone through, the fears, the trying times, the addiction, the feelings that you're not going to be able to make it. Those storms that you face, everybody faces them. And it could be a storm I face may seem like absolutely nothing to you because our body, our biological makeup is different. Our mental makeup is different. So we face things differently. So what seems small to you may be huge to me, and vice versa. So we all have storms that we face. All do. Um, First and foremost, when you're in the midst of a storm outside, what do? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's use a real weather storm as an analogy. Let's use this to kind of plan our plan of action when we face a storm, when you face a storm, when you're in a storm. Okay, yesterday somebody said, "Wow, did y'all hear about that storm coming up?" So, what's your first method of attack? And I say attack because that's what we have to do when a storm comes. We attack it. It might not be with our fists, but we have to be on the defensive and we have to have a plan of attack. You have to have a plan of attack. Somebody mentioned the storm. Oh, yeah, so and so was thinking about it. Well, that person lives up in my area. All right, so my first plan of action was to look at the weather, check the weather, be aware of what's coming, be aware of what's coming. With ourselves and our own personal storms, you have to be aware of what's coming. You have to be self aware. You have to know in yourself what you're facing. Know what's coming. I look, I see, okay, well, I can expect this. About 8 something is supposed to hit around here this morning, 8 something this morning. All right, so I'm aware of it. You, in your own personal storms, you have to be aware. You have to know yourself. Know yourself. Know the signs. Know the signs. Okay, just say nobody had told me about the storm. And I saw it was kind of gloomy yesterday. That's a sign that a storm may come. So you have to know yourself. You have to know your signs. You have to be so self-aware that you know when you're getting aggravated before you're really getting aggravated. When you start have a feeling, you know, in that feeling, sorry, he just texted me too. But I don't, yes, I'm good. Yes. Okay, you got to know what's going on before it happens. Like, I remember in a meeting one day, I was talking about, I know before I get to the point, I was able to start learning and be so self aware that before I got to the point of being frantic and overwhelmed, I knew the first sign of it. That's a little storm in my life. I knew the signs of the storm. You know, some people in certain areas, they look up and see the sky, and if it's a certain color or something, they know what kind of weather is coming. Right? They know what storm is coming. I got to the point where I was self-aware and I was so out in tune with my emotions that when a little bit of a difference was happening, I knew what was happening. I knew there was something off. So And, you can get like that, and then you can slip away from it, get to the point where you kind of get caught up and too many things going on, and you're not really in tune with yourself. Try to stay in tune with yourself at all costs, because that's how you stay on guard against the unguarded moment. Is you're in tune with yourself. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware of your thoughts. I also knew that my thought pattern, when it would get off, before it would really be off to a significant level, that it would cause issues or get overwhelmed and things like that. So that's a sign of a storm brewing. It's not in the midst of a storm because I'm a little unaware of things. It's not in the midst of a storm because I can see myself about to get frustrated, or the midst of a storm. Okay, another way you know a storm is coming is by looking around you. All right, is the wind blowing? Do you see the trees waving back and forth? Is it raining? Is there a little bit of sprinkling and drizzling? Is it cold? What's the wind feel like? By looking around you. So another way you can tell when your personal storms are coming is by looking around you. Are people going through a lot of stuff and trying to drag you into it? Are you focusing so much on what other people are going through that in that you lose track of what you're doing? Are the people around you, are you surrounding yourself with people who blow like the wind? Are you surrounding you with people yourself that are angry, that are frustrated, that are striking lightning bolts down at you? Are those the people that you're surrounding yourself with? Is that what's around you? Also, I can tell too, is one thing that I get, my car gets really cluttered. That gets me a little aggravated. Is the area around you, is it cluttered? Is it dirty? Is there things that need to be done? Is it unorganized? That can lead to a storm, because it just I don't know how, but if things are unorganized and cluttered and dirty, then it can add to the aggravation and frustration. Some people will say that's not true, but if you actually keep things straighter and cleaner around you for a while and then go back into that environment, you will see that it does affect you. I mean, as it gradually builds up, it might not bother you. Or as you get used to it, it might not bother you. But if you're not around it for a bit and then you go back into it, you'll see the difference. Just try it if you want to. Try it. You don't believe me? Try it. Those are storms. Now, when the storm is right there around you, what do? Think about it. Think about it in school when the tornado drill went on. What did you do? You went in the hallway with a book and you sat down against the wall with your knees pulled to your chest. You're on the floor, knees pulled to the chest, and a book over your head. Now, that was a lot more safe, I guess. You were inside of you were from windows and stuff like that. So that was the way to protect yourself. So when a storm comes, you take cover. You protect yourself. Now, if there's other things you're in charge of, you make sure everybody is taken care of, but you have to protect yourself. When you're in your storm of life, you have to protect yourself. Look out for you, because like I said before, when you're standing in the mirror, it doesn't matter who else is in that mirror with you. They come and go. They walk past. Get ready in the morning and brushing your teeth. Your significant other may walk in, grab some out the bathroom, and then leave. You're still in that mirror. And y'all get my point. When you are in the midst of a storm, and you have to make sure you're taken care of. By that, ways you can make sure you're taken care of is, have you been taking care of self-care? Self-care. All right. Some of the self-care for me is mindfulness. It's taking a bath from time to time, a long soaking a hot bath from time to time. It's doesn't mean I gotta go spend $100 on myself. It's doing little things that perk you up a little. Self-care is being kind to yourself. It's making sure you shower. It's making sure you brush your teeth. Because you can get in a storm and you can get so bogged down and brought down that you don't even get out of bed. You know, self-care for you is whatever it means for you. It's whatever makes you feel good. So in the midst of a storm, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Okay. And during the storm, you're mindful. You're aware of everything that's going on around you. You're taking care. You're unplugging. You're unplugging all the electrical things. We used to go around and unplug the TVs and the radios, and anything we had plugged in had to come unplugged because everything. So this is, in your storm, unplug, refocus, practice mindfulness. One of the exercises I learned when I was going through group therapy was half smile. All right. It really helped me. And open hands. Okay. So when you're in a situation, and when you're at work or at home and you're in a situation that's really getting to you, and you're around somebody that irritates the crap out of you at work, you're frustrated, half smile. I don't mean just smile on half your face. Just do what is kind of like a smirk, but think of it as a smile. Turn the corners of your lip up just a little bit. That little bit, that half smile, that brings you into a different state of mind. Okay, don't believe me? Try it. It doesn't work with every situation, but try it. All right, open hands. When you're overwhelmed and you feel kind of, like everything's coming at you, then open your hands. It works good if your hands are like on your lap. Open them and palm up. It just, I don't know how it works. I was sitting in a meeting and I was so stressed and overwhelmed. This was an NA meeting. I was so stressed and overwhelmed and I was angry. And this was hard to me because for me, when we were practicing this, when my hands were open like this and palmed up, I felt more vulnerable. That's one thing you don't want to feel in a storm is vulnerable. But that's a form of acceptance. Radical acceptance. It's just accepting it as it is. Your hands are open. I was in a meeting. There was a situation that there was a person that thought I was saying something and her son was frustrated with me, but they were mad at somebody else and telling me about it. But she from across the room saw the expression on her face and got up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Come here." Oh, I was ready to come here. But I get so overwhelmed at one point, I don't immediately do it. I looked at him, you better go. Because I knew what was up. I knew she thought I had made him angry. And she was at that meeting because she wanted to be there to make sure nobody hurt her son's feelings. Well, I'm just sitting at the table and he's telling me about somebody else. And so she thought it was me. So he goes back there and lets her know. But I was so mad. Man, I was so mad. And I don't like to be mad like that. So I sat there at the table and I had my hands on it, and my fists were clenched. But I opened them and let them up, and I put a half smile on my face. And I'm not gonna say that I was instantly woohoo! I just love this woman. She's so wonderful. But me personally, I relaxed some. I wasn't so mad. So storms of life, half smile, open hands, deep breaths. There's really ways to recenter and reground yourself. And that's what Grow Better is about. It's about helping people learn different ways to better themselves. My website is www.growbettercoach.com. My email is gb as in grow better with coachmel@gmail.com. Now, so what we talk about today with the storms of life is different ways you have to see the signs of the storms. Look for signs of storms coming. Look for signs of storms coming. All right. So, are there things? Life kind of goes in cycles. People go in cycles. Do you see the people around you going back to ways that really are the same ones? Do you see things around you starting to the beginning signs of them collapsing? Do you see? What do you see? What do you see? I was trying to think of another example, but I just couldn't. What do you see around you? And are there signs of storms coming from the outside or inside of you? Have you had any little personality changes? Do you have new paranoia, new fear, new anger? Is there anything new emotionally in you that hasn't been in you recently, but you've had it before, and those feelings and emotions are associated with storms? Take some time, do some self-reflection, get to know yourself. Grow Better, we talk about values and passions and goals and mindfulness. That's how you grow. You can find me on my website. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. There's links to all that. I also distribute my podcast through another service, and it does the audio to other services. So get to know yourself. Find out what ticks you off, what causes storms in your life, and learn how to be aware, be ready, and move through and protect yourself. Now, after a storm, a lot of times if it's a bad storm, there's cleanup. And that's just regrouping. Now, if you are proactive and the storm doesn't cause chaos and destruction, then you don't have as much cleanup to do. There's been storms going on, and it was the most amazing feeling. I wasn't glad these storms were happening, but I felt like, y'all know, in the center of a tornado is that little calm spot. From what we learned, I've never been in the center of a tornado, so I don't know. But that calm spot in the middle of a storm, I felt like I was that, and the tornado was going around all around me, but I was okay. That's the goal. So go to my website, check it out, send me an email, sign up for the goals session, group session that's coming up in May. It is free. It's once a week via Zoom or Facebook Live. I'm probably going to have it on both. Sign up for it. Let me know what you want in life, and let me help you get to it. I hope everybody has a great day. Spend some time practicing some half smiles and some open hands in calm situations so you can just see how it makes you feel different. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.